This is going to be the first of my morning drive series. I think it could also apply most of the things that I'm going to say in some other areas to other fields if you're interested. But I'm going to focus mainly on my technical careers that are trying to some additional resources to help you out. So let's talk about how you can advance your career in tech and IT. Most efficiently with the thinking about your career goals, skills you want to acquire, and resources that are going to help you. You notice this morning it's raining, so of course I'm trying to be careful as well. Make sure to drive safe. So the first thing we're going to cover is an overview of IT career paths, what your options are with IT career paths. We're going to talk a little bit about upskilling and what are some of the key thoughts around upskilling in IT. It's incredibly important. Continual growth. And very importantly, what are some common mistakes that you're going to make potentially when thinking about upskilling or presenting yourself with a resume? So the first area I want to talk about is cybersecurity in terms of areas that are in high demand. And of course, cybersecurity is in tremendous demand because of the need for protection of networks and personal data on backbones of businesses and also educational facilities. Protecting organizations from cyber threats, roles which can help do penetration testing or security and cybersecurity are going to continue to be in high demand over the next couple of years. Some entry level ideas for roles are like security analyst. You want to make sure that you're getting some, a background in your current education around cybersecurity skills, such as penetration testing, like I mentioned before, and also just a knowledge of how and a knowledge of some of the best practices of how to secure a network, and also how some of these threats ultimately can be prevented. You're going to want to look into, what's ethical hacking and how you can get started with learning about ethical hacking and what's involved with, learning more about ethical hacking. You're going to want to learn about incident response. What are the best practices during incident response that can help support you and understand the skills needed during a proper cybersecurity incident response? You're going to want to familiarize yourself with the NIST framework and also become familiar with resources available from our federal government to help you support with cybersecurity knowledge like CISA. There are a few certifications that you're going to want to know about, such as CEH, OSCP, and CISSP. And also recognize that, even though there are some industry certifications, that if you're working within a certification around networking or any other certification, you're going to see cybersecurity as a key part of any one of those certifications and knowledge. It's in such big demand that if you're doing a certification that does not somehow touch on cybersecurity, you want to make sure that you get some more background knowledge in it. The other area is cloud computing. Cloud computing's been in demand for a number of years now, since businesses, educational facilities, many people are now moving their, data off of local networks up to the cloud. So there's less on local servers, more being done in the cloud. So all the services that used to be done, on a local server are now moved to the cloud, and the cloud needs to be managed data. So you're going to want a background in managing cloud infrastructure and how to do it properly and effectively. Some of the roles are going to be cloud development engineer. Some of the roles are going to be a cloud architect or a DevOps engineer. You're going to notice that Amazon Web Services provides a wide range of certifications, such as its very basic entry level certification, cloud practitioner. It's a great way to get started if you're just looking to get your feet wet. And they continue to provide advanced certifications to help you advance your career. And and there's continual support for utilizing Amazon Web Services support and certifications, even well into your industry career. So some of the key skills are definitely cloud architecture, virtualization of resources, and DevOps tools like Kubernetes. There's a lot of people willing to share their experiences working with DevOps, in different industries, and seeing how that's going to be. And I would encourage you to reach out to someone who works in the industry to to get a better idea of what their role looks like. Always try to find a mentor in a field to help assist you with getting a start and understand what types of skills are essential. But you also should consider beginning an entry-level certification like cloud practitioner. In terms of certification, we've talked a little bit about Amazon Web Services, value in those. Talked a little bit about Amazon Web Services and the value of those. Really important. A big industry player. So Amazon offers Cloud Solutions Architect certification, and additionally, there's the Microsoft Azure certification, the Microsoft Azure Administrator certification. That's going to be Microsoft's version of managing cloud infrastructure through Azure. Now, another area that's been very popular for the past 10 years or so, and I remember years ago, IBM was very, in front of the technology. And for about the last 10 years, the topic of data science and data management is an incredibly great field to get into. And what you're doing here is with data science roles is you're in a position to analyze data and effectively review data within an organization using digital tools and technology to help support how data can best be used in an organization, whether it's from the curation of the data to the management of the data. Data science is an incredibly growing field all the time. The data is not stopping, now that the technology is in place to create and manage and really have the data. So there's the roles like analysts, which are going to be the analysis of the data, both from a theoretical standpoint within an organization. And then there's also business data around intelligence data, which is basically performance metrics around data. It's a continually growing field. And there's a lot of crossover skills between programming and data science, such as learning of Python and R programming in order to be able to analyze data effectively and efficiently. Machine learning has incredibly become a big part of managing data. Your ability to understand machine learning concepts and how data is being manipulated and created and processed through machine learning processes, very, very important. A base in statistical analysis, also very, very important. Some certifications to keep in mind are CAP, AP, DAS, CPA, DAS, CA, and a certification for senior data scientist. Next area worth talking about is data science. Next area worth talking about is artificial intelligence and machine learning. And I think we're all very well aware that AI and machine learning is an incredibly, growing area, and jobs are changing very quickly when it comes to the use of AI within the job field and how AI and machine learning are going to impact business processes. There's a big need to update intelligence within systems utilizing AI. So there's roles like AI and machine learning researcher, so that organizations understand how that data is going to be used properly with the use of AI. Some of the areas of focus here are going to include deep learning and how machine learning impacts. The key concept here is a deep learning framework. Be sure to look into what TensorFlow is. You get some training and understanding around TensorFlow. Also, learn about natural language processing and what natural language processing is, and how natural language processing can impact how data is manipulated and changed through the capturing of natural language. And data engineering. So is data engineered and shifted and changed with the use of machine learning and AI? Some certifications to really consider here is doing a certification in TensorFlow, getting a really strong baseline knowledge in that piece of technology and manipulation of data. There's the Azure AI Engineer Certificate, which will give you an understanding of how to utilize AI, Microsoft Azure with AI, and how to use it effectively with Azure products. The Azure AI Engineer Certificate. Another huge area of development is going to be the area of software development. This is all about developing software and applications. This is going to include areas like software developer and front-end engineer. Programs related to software development is going to definitely be learning Java, Python, object-oriented languages that support software development, and understanding how to work with software design principles. For certifications, you can see the Oracle Java Developer certification up there, and also the Azure Developer certification, as well as just a wide range of micro courses to all support software development and programming, learning, and development. Next area is IT management. There's going to be a tremendous need for IT management skills and how IT management skills are incredibly important because they help you lead and manage a team of developers, lead and manage a team of people who work within an IT infrastructure, whether it's IT projects or as a Scrum Master, learning how to best manage IT projects. One of the areas here is going to be agile management and risk management leadership. Some great certifications in this area is PMP, Project Manager Professional, and also a Scrum Master certification. Okay, so back at it, and obviously it's a little bit brighter. It's the end of the day. Back at it. It's the end of the day. Long day, but a lot of tech learning. So the next thing I want to talk about is upskilling and how valuable that very particular skill is. Upskilling is going to be, if you're involved with IT or technology or any job or position that requires the use of technology, is going to be a consistent part of your personal learning plan or professional learning plan. Okay, so you have to really be prepared to have the mentality that you're going to be learning new technology skills all the time, essentially. Adapting, but it's the nature of the beast when working in technology. So the first thing you want to is definitely assess your skills. If you're looking for a position in cybersecurity, how familiar do you feel with the content? Have you worked with network security before? How familiar do you feel with the content? Have you worked with network security before? Are you ready to take the next step in learning more about network security? One tool you can use to do this is the SFIA. This is the Skills Information in the Information Age. This is the skills framework for the information age. And what you're going to want to do is identify your skills in soft skills and hard skills. So, definitely make sure you understand the difference between hard skills and soft skills, technical skills. So soft skills are those like teamwork, collaboration, how well you work with others, those skills that are interpersonal, not necessarily related to how well you utilize and think about the use of technology. Technical skills are, of course, programming skills, data analysis, skills that require very specific technical knowledge or technical knowledge in general. Now, you want a good blend of these skills, so make sure that when you do an assessment, you learn which skills are, better for you. What skills do you really need to learn to take to the next level? You might be more of a person with technical skills who needs to work on their interpersonal and how to collaborate and work on teams with others. You might be more of a person with interpersonal skills and looking to expand your skill set with technology. So you really want to understand where you fit, what your next steps are, and align that with the career you're seeking. Now, this is something that I talk about on the channel quite a bit, but it's definitely setting SMART goals. SMART goals are strategic. SMART goals are strategic, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-based goals. So, for example, if you're looking to get into programming and software development, you're going to want to set a goal of within 3 months, I want to learn Python, the basics of Python, or several components of Python, or complete a project in Python. Now, that's a very specific goal. You can measure it within 3 months. You want to make sure, you may not be able to learn all of the ins and outs of the language in its entirety, which is within 3 months, but you're definitely going to be able to learn enough of that language to complete maybe a specific, if you set the goal. If you're not setting goals around what you want to know, then it's going to be much more difficult for you to measure your success. Another potential goal could be around an IT certification, like potentially maybe you want to complete the CompTIA certification within 3 to 4 months. Now that's going to definitely require a lot of study and preparation and training, and also
preparation for what's on that test, but you can measure your progress towards that. You can measure whether or not you feel adequate after studying after a certain number of weeks. And then you also feel like you can see, if, okay, am I ready to test? And if you're ready to test, taking the test and actually passing the test. So it's a smart goal in that it's strategic. It's something that you want. It's measurable in that you can measure the time it takes to complete the goal. It completes an action that helps you achieve your bigger picture goals, and it's relative to what you want to do, and it's done within a certain period of time. So really thinking about how you're going to set those is really critically important, and it's the key towards continuous learning with IT. SMART goals are really important to help you measure your learning, find out what's next for you on your learning path, select a goal that's going to work for you in the long run, and keep you moving. Another thing that you're going to want to do is identify resources, online resources that are low cost but high quality. They're going to help you train for your career. Now, this could be Udemy, this could be Coursera, this could be a number of the platforms on LinkedIn, this could be a number of the courses on LinkedIn. You could also choose Pluralsight. Also, Google has a Google for IT certification. So you want to take advantage of these low-cost platforms, expand your skill set, keep the flavor of learning alive as you kind of continue to expand your knowledge. Also, utilizing YouTube tutorials to learn a very specific skill or even to get an introduction to a topic can be tremendously beneficial. I'm constantly sharing ideas on this channel around AI. Maybe there's a piece of software that you can utilize and begin expanding your skill set, whether it be with a data analysis tool or something that kind of you're able to add to your resume. Definitely want to focus on industry certifications. Definitely want to focus on industry supported certifications. This could be any of the cloud platform. This could be any of the Amazon Web Services certifications for learning cloud computing that we spoke about before. This could also be, CompTIA A+ certification. Also be the security certification through A+. And what you want to do is you want to be able to focus and target in on certifications that are going to help support you, aspiring in your career. Now, there's also network certifications like there's also a wide range of network certifications from Cisco that are worth checking out that help advance your career. Now, one thing that goes underutilized is personal projects and taking on a personal project in your area. Now, you definitely want to think about personal projects that help display and share your tech skills, but there are things that you want to enjoy and work on, not things that you want to torture yourself with. So you want to make sure, like, if you're choosing personal projects, it's not just because you're choosing them because you're trying to understand a very specific skill. Like, yes, you might be interested in it, but at the end of the day, you want to have learning be fun for you, engaging, because you're going to have to keep showing resilience to finish projects. You may want to explore GitHub and look at the repository of projects on GitHub and kind of figure out, what types of projects do you want to work on. Very specific programming language projects, could be a web-based project, even a database project. Nowadays, projects are so vast and deep. You want to find something that aligns well to your skill set that you're trying to develop, and something that actually showcases your knowledge and the work you're willing to put in. These can be used in job interviews. These can be used to showcase your skills and can reflect what you've been working on. Consider building your portfolio through hackathons or other collaborative experiences while learning. Building those experiences, also having those social engagements with others and topics that you like, help build your future network. People who are going to help support you, people you can share and collaborate with, and share experiences with as you grow in IT. There are also a wide range of competitions to look into, like data science competitions, online competitions related to cybersecurity. There's a wide range of ways that you can kind of now get engaged with these topics that was never available, even 5 to 10 years ago. Now, this is a huge one. You're going to want to think about how to network strategically. And what I mean by network strategically is you really want to think about what your next step is. So if you're interested in getting either an entry-level position or an internship or any type of position which involves, an entry level opportunity to get experience, you definitely want to have your LinkedIn profile updated, professional picture, completely filled out. And you can connect with like-minded individuals, but also feel free to connect with those who have the skills that you aspire to have and connect with them and ask them questions. There are a lot of people willing to provide knowledge and give feedback on their experiences in the field because they were once where they are now. So I think that's an important step to consider. Finding people who are willing to give back to you the experiences that they've gone through to get to where they are. Some of the opportunities to extend this type of strategic networking is to attend conferences, to do networking groups, to join online meetups in topics that you enjoy related to technology. Keep an eye out for ways to connect with people, to discuss topics that you care about with IT. So now let's talk about some common mistakes that you might make in the process of trying to grow strategically in the IT field. First of all, your resume. One big mistake people make is they have a very generic resume. Just the basics are there, not a lot of descriptions of their skills, not a lot of detailed descriptions of the jobs they've had. The sequence of jobs might seem off. With your resume, here's my recommendation. First of all, include any certification that you've done, any sort of additional learning or work that you've done towards a very specific targeted area, whether it be a certification, an internship, specific targeted learning. Very important to include. If you've had positions, you want to make sure that you describe these positions in a way that potentially could assist and help with your application towards a tech position, an IT position. So if you've worked somewhere in a retail role or any other role that maybe there was a point of sale certain technology, maybe there was, you did do some computing or you assisted with a project that related technology, be sure that that is in the resume. Now also, do be explicit about the skills that you have and how you've used them. Now, one mistake that people make is they list the responsibilities that they had at a job, and that's great, but every job's going to have responsibilities. What makes someone great at a job often is the skills they apply within doing their job. So if you're going to be working, and also when people are reading your resume, yes, they're reading it to see what you did in other places, but they're also trying to picture you within the role. So you have to think about it as how can I best help others picture me in the role? What do they need to know about me that makes me a really good candidate? And do that as a brainstorm. With that prompt of what do I need to show people to make them feel I'm a good candidate. That's your next step. Have your social branding tight, have your LinkedIn profile reflect all of these same items, updated skills, updated descriptions on your profile, and don't be afraid to reach out to people and ask specific questions and topics that you're interested in. So when researching jobs, there's also a couple of mistakes people make. Make sure that you do research on the company. Understand the values of the company, the products of the company, the background of the company, and as much as you can around the company culture and climate, so that you can get a strong idea of what they value at that company, so that if you do end up getting the opportunity to get into an interview situation, that you can explicitly speak to some of those components, so that they recognize that you're walking in knowing a little bit about them, which can be tremendously beneficial to helping you have them see you as the right candidate. Another important step when particularly applying for jobs is that your resume is ATS friendly. And when people say ATS friendly, what they mean is applicant tracking system friendly. And what applicant tracking system friendly means is that it has all the keywords, has the descriptions, it has the components that the applicant tracking system needs in order to recognize your resume as a applicant who is a good fit for the position. So, within the last, 10, 15 years, applicant tracking systems have really developed and grown to be. So you want to make sure that your resume and cover letter are filled with lots of things that they're going to be looking for in terms of the applicant tracking system, so that you can be aligned to be getting the call, the interview, the next step. And remember, this is something that I always think about. Your goal should be to get the interview. You're going to grow tremendously from the experience of getting an interview for what you want to do. And just remember, if you can get to the point where you get the interview, get to be able to showcase your skills, talk about what you can bring, that's a victory. After that point, most companies are looking for a certain type of fit or a certain type of person that is going to fit the role. And that's where it gets a little bit more complicated. It's the next stage, it's the next step. So when you're getting interviews, that's great. You need to get to that point where you're starting to get interviews. If you're not getting interviews, you want to start thinking about, what can I do? Am I applying for the wrong types of positions? Why am I being passed over for interviews? So you just want to make sure you're trying to get yourself aligned with getting that opportunity. So now let's talk about some learning mistakes that people make as they kind of progress along the way. So don't get stuck in like tutorial purgatory. I'm doing this tutorial, so I learn this, to then learn this, to then learn this. I think it's very easy, specifically learning a programming language, or learning web design, or some of these languages where you might have like something where you might have like a tremendous amount of learning around a topic over a period of time. Tutorials are great, and they're going to help you learn. But there's a point in which tutorials are just structured to introduce you to something and then bring you to a certain point. It may lack a real world application. They may lack certain types of skills that would only be inherent from learning on your own outside of a tutorial. Try not to spread yourself too thin. So don't do every career path. Maybe if you're unsure of where you want to focus, take a couple weeks to a couple months and focus on cybersecurity, and what can you learn, and how much do you care about this topic? Is there a lot of resources? I've spoken with students before where I can see them getting excited about a topic, and then they kind of get involved with the topic, and they're either struggling with resources around the topic, but often I think sometimes they're losing their passion for it, and the reason why they chose the topic could be something that isn't really aligning with their personal goals as well as maybe they thought of in the beginning. So don't be afraid that if that's starting to happen, to pivot and pick something else, choose something that just makes you more excited to learn. I think the best learning happens when you're willing to put all of your energy into it. You're willing to take it to the next level, and really get engaged with the topic. So that's my review of strategies towards early entry level into IT. So those are my strategies towards getting started with your entry level path into a wide range of IT jobs and careers. This is my first attempt at making a car-based video. I hope you are passionate about the topic that you're interested in studying. I hope that you think about which paths work for you and why you want to learn it. You do the research into the careers that are available, and feel free to connect with me directly if you have any questions you feel like you can help, whether it's with personal coaching or courses. Please visit digitalfutureseducation.com. Definitely subscribe to the channel, and I appreciate your time checking out the video, and definitely keep pushing along and be resilient.